welcome you all for direct taxation class. In today's session, we will go with one more problem on computation of taxable income as well as tax liability of individuals. Right? I'll just go with a problem. For the assessment year 2020-21, Ajay, age 61 years, a resident individual, furnishes the following information. Basic pay rupees 1,20,000, project allowance rupees 1,29,400, education allowance rupees 200 per month for 2 sons and rupees 1,500 per month for a daughter, rupees 6,600. Hostel expenditure allowance rupees 650 per month for one child, rupees 7,800. Transport allowance for the journey between office and resident, rupees 19,200. Free car 1500 cc facility for Ajay for official and private purpose. Cost to the employer company rupees 27,000. Free meals in office 300 working days 12,700. Employer contribution towards unrecognized provident fund rupees 3,000. Share of profit from firm 36,000. Share of profit from an association of person rupees 34,000. Share of profit from a Hindu undivided family rupees 18,000. Income from betting rupees 2,400. Interest from Indian Overseas Bank, fixed deposit interest 14,000, savings bank interest rupees 48,000. Income from business rupees 4,91,600. Payment and investments, contribution towards unrecognized provident fund rupees 6,700. Payment of premium on Mediclaim insurance policy on Ajay's father who is resident in India 30,500. Payment of premium on own Mediclaim policy 36,000. Investment in National Savings Certificate 8 issue rupees 1,05,000. Donation to an approved public charitable institution rupees 3,000. Determine the net income and tax liability of Ajay for the assessment year 2020-21. Right. So here in this problem, this is with respect to Ajay, whatever the information he has disclosed. So where he has received the income with respect to salary, income with respect to profit and gains of business or profession, income with respect to other sources. So these are the three heads of income sources what Ajay has received in the previous year. So based on the information available, we need to calculate net income as well as tax liability of Ajay for the assessment year 2020 and 21. Right. So what we do here is, we will calculate with respect to particular heads in a different format, means as per the prescribed norms. Afterwards, we will combine all the heads of income and that will be formed as gross total income, right. So out of which deductions will be available under section 80C to 80U, then remaining amount will be the net income or taxable income. Then we will calculate the tax liability. Clear? So now we will go with the problem. Okay. Computation of net income and tax liability of Mr. Ajay for the assessment year 2020-21. Okay, clear? Next thing is previous year. It is 01/04/2019 to 31st/3/2020. Clear? So now we will go with the calculation. So first thing is we will go with the income from salary with respect to income from salary. Okay, income from salary means with respect to income from salary, what are the information that is provided. So based on that we will calculate what will be the income with respect to salary to Mr. Ajay based on the information given to us. So first thing is basic pay they have given. Basic pay is rupees 1,20,000. 1,20,000. Okay. Next thing is project allowance they have given 1,29,400. Project allowance, that is 1,29,400. Clear? Afterwards, education allowance they have given. Education allowance. So here one thing we need to note here is education allowance they have given with respect to 3 children, one daughter and another 2 children they have given, right, where they have paid 200 per month they have paid. But here as per the income tax norms, what they say here is education allowance is 100 per child, up to 2 children is the maximum what they give, right. So in this case education allowance he has received 6,600. Understanding? Out of this less exempt amount we need to calculate. So what it is? 100 per child, right? 100 per child into 2 children, right? 2 child into 12 months. You need to calculate. So 100 into 2 into 12. That is 2,400. Understanding? Out of this, remaining is chargeable to tax. So out of 6,600, if you deduct 2,400, what is chargeable to tax? That is 4,200 is chargeable to tax. Right. Next is hostel expenditure allowance. Hostel expenditure allowance. So what is the amount they have received here with respect to hostel expenditure is 7,800 they have received. That is 650 per month they have received in the information they have provided. For this minus exempt. So what is the exemption given here? 300 per month. That is rupees 300 into 12 months. So how much it is? So it is 3,600. So out of 7,800 means Ajay had received hostel expenditure allowance as 7,800, where exemption is 3,600, means remaining is chargeable to tax. So remaining amount is how much? 4,200. Clear? Next thing, transport allowance is there. So transport allowance right? So what is the amount of transport allowance here? It is 19,200. So nothing will be given as an exemption. So what I will do here is directly I will post the value 19,200 as chargeable to tax. Clear? Next one, free car has been provided, where we say that it is a perquisite, right? Perquisite. So perquisite with respect to what? With respect to car. So here car is 1150 cc they have said. So here as per the income tax norms, if the car is less than 1600 cc, right? So what will be the value of perquisite? It is 1800 per month into 12. Clear? So 1800 into 12. 1800 into 12. Because this car is, it is said as small car which is less than 1600 cc. Clear? Okay. So if you compute, what will be the value? It is 21,600. Clear? Next thing is with respect to what are the other information that is available. Perquisite with respect to free meals. I will write it here, free meals. Perquisite. So perquisite, it is for 300 days they have given the food. So that is in working situation. So whenever meals are provided in the working condition, so nothing is chargeable to tax. So it is nil. Understanding? So nil. Next thing is, next with respect to employer contribution towards unrecognized provident fund, right? So anything with respect to unrecognized provident fund from the employer contribution, that will be exempt from tax. Here 12%, exceeding 12% of salary, those things are not applicable. We say that employer contribution towards unrecognized provident fund is exempt from tax. Okay, I'll write it here. Employers contribution to unrecognized provident fund. So it is nil. So do we have any other information related to salary? No. Only these are the information with respect to income from salary. Now you need to sum up. Okay. If you sum up, you will be getting the value of 2,96,600. 2,96,600. Sorry, not 2,96,000. It is 2,98,000. 2,98,600. So what is this? This is called as gross salary. This is called as gross salary, right? Afterwards, you need to give deduction. Means out of this gross salary, you need to deduct the standard deduction, right? Less standard deduction. So that is 50,000. So out of 2,98,600, you need to give 50,000 standard deduction. Clear? So remaining amount will be said as income from salary. That is 2,48,600. 2,48,600. So this is income from salary. Clear? This is income from salary. So next thing is, which are the other information that is available, we need to move with it, right? Next heading is profit and gains of business or profession. Under that we will calculate. So here profit or gains from business or profession. Okay. Under this head, profit and gains of business or profession, right? Profit or gains from business or profession. So under this, there is a income from business, right? Income from business. From business. So as there are many related to business income, I will take it in inner column. 4,91,600. Clear? 4,91,600. Next thing is profit from a firm. That is share of profit from a firm. This is nil. Why? Because it is exempted. Share of profit from a firm is exempt. Because on profit already the firm who is issuing the profit, they have paid the tax. Clear? Next thing is share of profit of association of person. Share of profit from association of person. So here this is not included here because it will be chargeable to tax at a maximum marginal rate. So it will be separately assessed and the tax will be chargeable at a maximum marginal rate. Hence here we are not considering it. Next, profit from HUF. Profit from HUF, that will also be considered as nil because it will be separately calculated. Means computation of Hindu undivided family computation will be in a different thing. So here we will not consider when we are computing individuals. Clear? So 4,91,600. This itself is income from your profit and gains from your business or profession. Clear? I'll write it here. Profit and gain from business or profession. 4,91,600. Clear? Next thing is with respect to income from other sources. So what are the information that is available? So based on that, we will calculate. I'll write it here. Income from other sources. So which are the income from other sources that is available here, right? So here with respect to income from other sources, one is income from betting, is there? So income from betting. So income from betting 2,400 he has earned. 2,400. Clear? Next thing is FD interest from a bank he has received. So FD interest from bank. So how much he has received? 14,000. Right? Next is savings bank interest also he has received 48,000. Savings bank interest 48,000. Right? So these are the information what Ajay has received with respect to income from other sources. One is income from betting, another one is FD interest from bank, another one is SB interest. Right? So these are the information he has received, means income he has received. So if you sum up this, what is the total? That is 64,400. Right? So now what we have done here, we have done with respect to income from salary, profit and gains from business, income from other sources. So what are the income that is available with respect to these heads of income that we have posted separately, means we have calculated individually. Clear? Afterwards, you need to sum up all this. One is income from salary. This you need to sum up. This you need to sum up. This you need to add. This you need to add up. So if you add all these three, you will be getting gross total income, out of which you need to give deduction under section 80C to 80U. Right? We will go with that. Okay. So we need to calculate gross total income. Gross total income. So one is 2,48,600 plus 4,91,600 plus 64,400. Understanding? So if you sum up this, what is the amount you get? That is said as your gross total income. So if you sum up, you will be getting 8,04,600. Understanding? So this is said as gross total income. Clear? After this, we need to give a deduction under section 80C to 80U. So which are the information available? We will go with that. Less deduction under section 80C to 80U. So which are the informations here? One is under section 80C, it is available, that is investment in NSE. Investment in NSE 8 issue. So how much? 1,05,000. 1,05,000. Right. Next one, under section 80D, here medical premium they have paid. Medical insurance premium with respect to own he has paid, again with respect to his father he has paid. So that amount of deduction we need to give, right? Mediclaim with respect to own life, how much he has paid? He has paid 36,000, right? Mediclaim premium with respect to father. With respect to father, how much he has paid? 30,500. So if you sum up, it is 66,500 that you need to give. 66. Clear with respect to 80D. Understanding? Next one is under section 80G. 80G. So what they have done here? They have given a donation to a public charitable institution. So where any donation given to the public charitable institution, where 50% is the deduction what it will be given. So donation to charitable institution. So it is 50% of 3,000, because 3,000 is amount what they are given as donation. So 50% of 3,000 means 1,500. Clear? Afterwards, under section 80TTB. So this is again with respect to FD interest and savings bank interest. So where maximum deduction given for senior citizen, in this case he is a senior citizen because Ajay is 61 years. So with respect to 80 TTB, it is applicable with respect to senior citizen, right? So FD interest. So what is the amount of FD interest he has received? 14,000 he has received, one component, right? Savings bank interest, how much he has received? 48,000 he has received. So if you sum up, how much it will be? It will be around 62,000. So but what they say here, maximum deduction is up to 50,000. Exempt up to 50,000 only with respect to this. So 50,000 exemption we will give. Clear? So these are the deductions with respect to Ajay, what he can claim or he has contributed, because of that he can claim this, right? So if you sum up these things and deduct it from gross total income, so what will be the value? So what is the amount of deduction he is claiming here is, if you sum up these four, it is 2,23,000, where out of 8,04,600, he is claiming a deduction of 2,23,000. That has to be deducted. Remaining amount will be the net income. That is 5,81,600. Hope you have understood this, right? So we had computed the different heads of incomes there, right? Totally. So afterwards, in this case, only 3 heads are available. One is with respect to salary, one is with respect to business and profession, another one is with respect to other sources, right? So afterwards, we summed it up, we got a gross total income of 8,04,600. Then we gave deduction under section 80C to 80U. So where we got, this is the amount, where it was summing up to 2,23,000, means deduction total was 2,23,000. That we deducted from gross total income 8,04,600. So we got 5,81,600. So this is the net income of Ajay with respect to whatever the information he has furnished, right? So one part is over, means computation of net income is over. Next part is computation of tax liability we need to do. This we need to calculate. So if you want to calculate tax liability, first and foremost thing here, it is with respect to individuals, right? So whenever you are calculating with respect to individuals, you need to check with the slabs based on the age. Below 60 years, different slab. 60 to 80 years, different slab. 80 and above years, different slab. So here Ajay is 61 years. Understanding? Ajay is 61 years. So he will be falling in the slab rate of senior citizen, which is 60 to 80 years. Right? So based on that, we will calculate the tax liability with respect to Ajay's income, whatever he has earned, 5,81,600. Clear? Net income is 5,81,600, right? So on this, you need to calculate the tax. So here, as he is a senior citizen and also in this case there is no long-term capital gain, short-term capital gain or any winning from lotteries. In case if it was there, it would have been segregated. Separate tax used to charge, afterwards we would have summed it. So in this case, those things are not there. So based on the information on 5,81,600, we need to calculate the tax, right? So here up to 3 lakh, that is one rate, it is nil. Clear? Afterwards 3 lakh to 5 lakh at 5%. So here difference is 2 lakh into 5% you need to calculate. Clear? So that is 10,000. Sorry, 10,000. Afterwards 5 lakh to 10 lakh, it is 20%. Slab is 5 lakh to 10 lakh, it is at 20%. So this net income will be falling in the bracket between 5 lakh to 10 lakh. So what is the difference amount from 5 lakh to 5,81,600? So 81,600 is the difference amount. 81,600. So into 20%. 81,600 into 20% you need to calculate. So that is 16,320 what you get. So how we got this? Means for your understanding, I'll write it here, 5 lakh to 5,81,600. This difference is 81,600. Clear? So now we have calculated the tax. So you have to sum it up. If you sum up, it will be 26,320. So this is said as tax. So for which you need to add surcharge. Surcharge, right? So you need to add surcharge. So is it applicable here? Surcharge? No. Right? Surcharge is not applicable. Clear? So afterwards, because up to 50 lakh, no surcharge is applicable for individuals, right? So in this case, it is nil. So 26,320, this is said as tax and surcharge. Understanding? This is said as tax and surcharge. So for this, what you need to add? You need to add health and education cess at 4%. 4% on what? 4% on this value. Understanding? So 26,320 into 4% you need to calculate. So how much you will get? 1,053. Afterwards, sum it up, you will be getting 27,373. This is said as tax payable or tax liability. But here they will round it off to the value of 10. So because of that, what is the tax he will be paying here is 27,370. So this is what the rounded off value. Rounded off. Clear? So this is what the tax liability what we have calculated with respect to the income what he has earned. Clear? So net income part is over and tax liability part is over. This is how we will compute the net income as well as tax liability of individuals. Clear? Thank you.